Well, on 23rd of August, we were anticipating that India will create history, and finally that moment has come. I think India created an history, a wave that has been appreciated not just in India but across the globe. Now, everybody, all the Indians came united and celebrated this moment. आता तुम्ही जर विचारशात जाल्यार कोण हॅपियस्ट आसतलो म्हाका दिसता आमी सगळेच हॅपियस्ट असले. But there was one gentleman here in Goa who were, I think, very, very happy for a fantastic reason because his company was part of mission Chandrayan 3 and he's none other than sitting here in the studio with me. Please welcome Shekhar Sardessai, founder of Kineco Group. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much because I remember काल 2 दीस गेल्या, 1 दीस गेला रादर. म्हाका दिसता आफ्टर दिस सक्सेस तुमकां खूब फोन येयले आसतले, तुमचे आमी सेलिब्रेशनूय बरें, त्याचे आमी डिटेल उलया. बट if I want to ask you your opening comments, how have you taken this moment and your team more importantly?
I think for us, the moment started when the rocket carrying the Chandrayan, the LVM-3, actually took off. That was the first time we had a sense of excitement. And the next 23 days, of course, was a period of a lot of anxiety to see if what we had set out to achieve, we will eventually achieve. As the Chandrayan was nearing the moon, we were hearing statements from ISRO chairman and mission directors, and they exuded confidence that yes, come what may, we will land on the moon.
Oh, nice.
And I think as the mission was nearing its final landing position on the moon, there was an excitement, there was an anxiety. Behind all of this, there was a mission that failed previous day from Russia. So it was a bag of mixed emotions. But at the end of the day, we were, so to say, quite confident that eventually we will get there.
Oh,
I don't know what that confidence was, whether because ISRO exuded confidence, everything had gone by the book till the time of that last 20 meters from the moon surface. But yes, there was anxiety, there was exuberance after it touched down. And for a moment we were like ecstatic, absolutely.
Okay, I think आम्ही सगळ्यांनी on that moment we have seen, we did live, we saw a lot of reaction, we saw students giving us reaction, we saw everybody right from the Prime Minister, President, then the Governor, Chief Minister, everybody was really happy. Now we have the footage of your company where the screening was on and the entire team who has worked, your friends were there to support you first, more importantly, and also fingers crossed waiting for that particular moment. म्हाका खरेंच जाणून घेवपाक जाय की तो मुवमेंट तुमच्या त्या सेटअपान कसो आसलो, because that is something that I really missed when I saw the footage.
Of course, this was a teamwork. Nothing is achieved by one single person. As much as it was a team of thousands of people at ISRO working on this mission, a company like us, which make some 4 critical mission critical parts for the LVM-3 or the launch vehicle which carried the Chandrayan. We had 50 people working on this project for over 6 to 8 months' time. Right from manufacturing engineering, quality control, supply chain, interaction with the customers, quality approvals at each stage. ISRO people were also, that is Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, VSSC, which is the arm of ISRO. Those people were continuously engaged with us and they were hand-holding us as well because this is a very critical mission. It has to be absolutely first time right. You don't get the second chance. So there is a complete protocol in terms of what needs to be done. And as the product started taking shape, we realized the magnitude of it. and as the Chandrayan date, launch date started coming closer, we realized what an impact it could have on the country, on our company, since we are a part of it. And the entire team came together, and in those both during the launch and during the landing of the emotions were very high, very high. And of course the exuberance, as I said, when it actually landed was really
You,
touching.
sir, take the opportunity being here in the studio and obviously leading your team. I just wanted to ask from that last person who's worked on your team to the higher ups. How do you conclude their expression? Because you were there, you saw the hard work also which was put in, and then you saw that moment of everybody cheering, happy. We can see those visuals also on screens. How was
In
it?
such moments, hierarchy breaks down. There is no hierarchy. Everybody was cheering, everybody was hugging each other,
Yeah, that's
everybody was
nice.
congratulating. So there wasn't somebody who was the controller of the mission and somebody who was actually working on the. We all came together as a team. So I think that moment broke down the complete hierarchy in the company, and we enjoyed the moment of pride for all of us and for our nation.
Okay, I just want to understand is with respect to specific parts that you said LVM3 तुमचे parts use केले जब तुम्ही manufacture केले. I want to understand is what were the specific parts, what were the names so that we can understand how much Kineco has contributed to this achievement.
So they are very deeply technical names, but one of the largest part we made is called equipment brake shroud, which is a 4-meter diameter shroud which is in the top portion of this launch vehicle. There were many parts which were hidden, which were not seen, but this is one of the parts which was closest to the tip of the launch vehicle, and that was the largest part we made. But apart that, there were 4 different parts which had other technical names like locks, tunnels, so on and so forth.
So today, Kineco and Kaman has worked with likes of L&T, Godrej, and some 400 odd vendors or companies that have worked with it. You have upped the game, and you are at par with all this global multinationals, if I can say, or
So,
brands that you
yeah.
always like to work with or compete with.
So, I always had this ambition to be in aerospace. And to be frank, just within about 6 years of starting Kineco, I started in 1995. I went for, in 2002, if I am not wrong, I went for a supplier seminar, or ISRO was in very early stages of its own development. This was almost 20 years back.
Oh.
I went to a supplier seminar where all the big guys you just named had assembled, and I came back saying, we are too small for this game, but we need to do this at some point in time. So we started investing in the right direction, investing in creating skill sets, investing in creating infrastructure. And it took us time from 2002 to 2012. We got our first break, 2012-13. We were awarded by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, the arm of ISRO, with supply of 10 antennas for regional satellites, navigation satellites, which was a very critical component of the mission, which is like the India GPS mission. And we did that project with precision in the given time frame. We made our name with ISRO. We created our credentials. From there was no looking back. So we have been actually engaged with ISRO's various missions in various capacities since 2013. And we have become a supplier of choice now. So it feels good that, when we look back at 2002, when we thought we were really too small for this game, to really, break that glass ceiling and sit shoulder to shoulder with suppliers who are much, much larger than
Very
us.
true. So this journey or this dream starts, I think, 20 years back with that particular step that you took, and you and Visaj saying that we want to up the game and we want to be part of this ambitious project. I really want to ask you because this company Kineco and Kaman, this is a multinational joint venture that you have between Kineco Group and Kaman Aerospace, that's USA. Okay, and you head it as a founder and the managing director. I want to ask you what is the team size that has worked on this particular project specifically?
As I said, we are in this particular project, there are about 50 people who worked. And most importantly, the project was led by a lady engineer. Similar to so many women contributing to this mission, including the mission director. This is something that is quite notable.
Okay. Also, you mentioned Luna 25. Obviously, a few days earlier, it crashed and the dream shattered of Russia. अगेन म्हाका खरेंच विचारूंक जाय की हाव वॉज दॅट मुवमेंट तुमी म्हटलं की इस्रो वॉज कॉन्फिडंट मिशन डायरेक्टर वॉज कॉन्फिडंट एवरीबडी वॉज कॉन्फिडंट यू काइंड ऑफ हॅड द फेथ दॅट वी हॅव लर्न फ्रॉम अ मिस्टेक फ्रॉम Chandrayan 2 after that debacle of Luna 25 was there a tense moment or second thought in your team, especially here in Goa?
I think definitely there was an anxiety. I wouldn't say there was a second thought, but there was an anxiety because the conditions under which it is landing, there are so many uncertainties, you know. You're looking at something which is so far away, you're controlling it from a remote...
Correct.
And you are working in an environment and atmosphere which is so unpredictable.
Yeah,
so that sense, that unpredictability is always there. And anxiety linked to that unpredictability was definitely there in all of us, no matter how much we denied it.
But again, sir, with this collaboration, and also we see a new India. A lot of startups are coming. You have this young kids doing startups, and having this great ambitions. And again, if I look, it's a similar story of you as well, because you also saw a dream and you always wanted to work in that space of aerospace or maybe space exploration. I want to ask you is, with this collaboration with Goan companies, what does it do for a young talent, especially here in Goa, and shaping our future generation? Because now chand dur nahi hai is a feeling that every a small kid also has, and that is what I think has transformed. The Chandrayan 3 has become like a blockbuster movie. Everybody was anticipating ki it will hit in the screens, and it has become a super hit on day one.
Yes.
How do you see the future of Goa?
I think these are transformational milestones for not just the institution which has achieved it like ISRO, but I think it's a transformational milestone for the country. It has a potential to catapult India into a very, very different league. I'm not talking in terms of space, because our space program is not recent. It has had history. We have been launching so many missions. So the space program has achieved its potential from where it started. But a mission of this magnitude of landing Chandrayan on South Pole for the first time, only the fourth country to do this feat, I think that has transformed the way the world will look at it, India.
Change the perspective.
The perspective of looking at India, of course, and it comes at a time when geopolitically we are a sweet spot. Economically, we are the fastest growing economy. We are a sweet spot there. And then, on the strength of already the fundamentals in place, something of this magnitude happening in a country's journey is transformational.
True.
It's now going to tell the world, or the world is going to believe that India is a destination for high-tech manufacturing. It goes beyond the impact of this will go beyond just space exploration or space, anything that is high. Because one thing that we always say, it's rocket science. The rocket science has a connotation to high-tech manufacturing, or anything that is technologically challenging, or anything that is challenging. When we have achieved something that is so challenging, the impact that it will have on country's credential is immense.
Correct.
And that is what will, I think, the blockbuster is a blockbuster, but I think the sequels that will follow will be even bigger.
I think impossible is nothing now. I really want to ask you is we've always been obsessed with movie stars or movies, or obsessed with sports, cricket for that matter in India. All of a sudden, did you feel, because I felt that everybody was looking in the sky, looking towards the moon for the first time I think in unison. Everybody was anticipating and praying, fingers crossed, good luck for the Vikram lander to land. Has this phenomenon changed over a course of time towards looking to science, especially with respect to economics, with respect to investment, with respect to questions? So why should we invest in space? Should we invest in Earth, or maybe facilities that is required? Is this a turning point with respect to this mindset, especially country like India?
Absolutely. I think it was aptly put by Anand Mahindra in one of its tweets, which I read yesterday. And he said, the poverty of the nation is the poverty of its aspirations. And what we have seen today is that our aspirations have found a flight.
Correct.
And now, like you just said, impossible is not impossible. So people will start believing in this country. People will start believing in themselves. And I think that phenomena, if it takes a nationwide, it spreads nationwide, the impact of this will be reverberated across the younger generations. And whatever dreams we have for ourselves and for our state or for our country, I think will find a fuel that is very much needed for us to become a developed country by 2040.
Also, in a layman's language, I would ask you is because there are a lot of comparison that is happening. India is managing emission which is far lesser with respect to the kind of cost that we put in, the investment that we do. Also, sometimes comparing to a movie that Interstellar ka budget or maybe Adi Purush ka budget, you are trying to kind of compare things which a layman is also understanding is, do you want to make a movie of say 500, 700 crores or do you want to touch the sky or maybe cross the sky, go into that limits? So that is also is happening. I think this is the moment of change, I believe.
Obviously, I think when we are talking of scientific exploration, I think it's not just about landing on the moon. As I said, the connotations of landing on the moon are far, far impactful than anything else that can happen to our, nation as a nation with scientific, going further into the next century,
Okay. The jubilant Prime Minister from South Africa, said that sky is not the limit. And he also mentioned that, Aditya L1, Gaganyaan and other projects that he wants to pursue. And obviously, ISRO is already working on them. I want to ask you, is this outlook of the country with respect to the space exploration, where do we head now? And more importantly, what is in store for Kineco as a company, as a Goan brand in future?
I think, we are positioned quite well in all the industries that we are working, we call it railways, defense, aerospace, space. I think, as I said, India is a sweet spot at the moment. We have proven to the world that we can manufacture world-class quality products at a very, very affordable price. And the cost of Chandrayan has only further reinforce this fact that, from this country, we can even go to the moon at the lowest cost.
True.
Technologically advanced solutions at the lowest cost. What more do you want for this country? The runway is very clear. Now we need people with ambition who can drive this economy, this achievement to the next level to really become a developed country in the next 2 decades.
So the initiatives like Make in India is kind of paying off because you see a lot of companies now doing into
I think the kind of people are now talking that we will create the next industrial revolution. Everybody said that we missed the bus for the last industrial revolution, but people have started saying very off late many statements coming from international thought makers that India is going to be the next industrial revolution, which is very heartening.
True. So I really want to ask you with respect to Kineco's future and collaborating with respect to the space odysseys and the space plans that our country has. What is the growth plan? What is the trajectory that you are looking forward, that you have set for maybe the next 5, 10, 15 years as a vision for the company? I think
we look at space in context of a larger aerospace market. Space is definitely a big vanity, but there is a lot of volume outside of the space which derives its technologies from space. Space volume is limited. It has got its own importance because of the vanity status that you get out of it. At the same time, I think as far as space is concerned, we have a very large pipeline with ISRO itself right now. We are already manufacturing quite a few components for the launch vehicles, the GSLV, PSLV, right from igniters to whatever has been supplied for the Chandrayan launch vehicle. At the same time, we are now working on a much larger program for the Gaganyaan. There's going to be that is currently under manufacturing. We would be probably delivering the first set of orbital module adapter, which is one of the key component of the launch vehicle, which will be the country's first, so to say, human space satellite. It will not definitely carry a human being into the space, but it will be a trial launch with a dummy.
Correct.
So that will be delivered in September, October this year. And I think we have a very large pipeline where we have bid for several other programs, including solar panels, including the reusable launch vehicle, complete fuselage, the first prototype of it. We bid for it, and we are hopeful of winning quite a few of this in the next few years. So there will be a big pipeline.
So it's a great future for Kineco in the coming
and
years.
We are also working with international companies who are into space at this point of time to be partners in their programs as well.
Okay, just a very simple question is, how do you see, because there are a lot of anticipation happening with respect to space in US or maybe NASA, you see a lot of privatization happening, or maybe private players investing, whether it is Elon Musk or maybe Jeff Bezos, all these people. How do you see Indian ecosystem with respect to space? Is it getting privatized, or it will be with the government?
It has already been set into motion. The privatization of Indian space industry has already started. There are two big startups called as Agnikul and another one in Hyderabad, Skyroot Aerospace. Both of these people are almost very close to preparing for the first lower orbital launch.
Nice.
Private launches, this will happen in a matter of 6 to 12 months. and the future is going to be private. ISRO has very clearly stated its intentions that they are going to focus on research, development, and next level of technologies for space exploration. And they will transfer most of the routine launch requirements which are currently handled by ISRO to the private sector.
Okay.
In the next 20 years, you will see there will be several of companies which will launch its own satellites, which will launch its own. It will become a commercial
so we'll
business
go on
for
a
everybody.
super fast mode.
Absolutely.
Things that we have not achieved in the last couple of years or maybe decades. I think we are on the super fast mode with this accomplishment and with this data that we will get. I think, obviously the world perspective has completely changed with this successful mission that is landing on the South Pole.
I agree with you.
And I think the future happens to be great. I take this movement because, there was a lot of craze, buzz happening that, everybody was very much interested. I really want to focus to the kids who are in the school now or maybe are into the academics. I really want you to give them a message which will decide, because now what I understand is astronomy is also part of Goa board curriculum. There are a lot of other things, there are a lot of technology which has been integrated in our schools also. All these kids, or maybe the parents who are watching, first, moon used to be far, the stars used to be far. Today, I think it's quite possible that we might reach. We might, usually we see that, James Cameron or maybe Christopher Nolan, maybe another 5-10 years, it might be quite possible. What would be your message to all the kids?
I think the message to all the kids that, first of all, you are living in a very, very interesting era where your country is on a path to becoming a developed country. The opportunity canvas is huge, and particularly for those who are really fascinated with astronomy or space or aerospace. I think the industry is going to only go to the next level in the next decade. And the opportunities are vast. If you have dreams, give those dreams the power of ambition.
The fantastic words, sir.
I think that's what will create an ecosystem. If we have 20 Kinecos or 40 Kineco kind of companies which are coming from grassroots levels and from SME sector, I think there will be an ecosystem that will be created, and that ecosystem will not just be helpful in exploration of space programs in the future, but it will create a industry with technological prowess to even manufacture tomorrow our own civil aircraft.
Fantastic. I think it's not the state or the size of a state that matters. I think even a small state like Goa can contribute significantly in a mission like Chandrayan.
I think the small state of Goa can contribute significantly because, we are small. and small is beautiful.
Very true, sir.
And we have talented manpower here, you know. We have talented manpower. If you look at pharmaceutical industry today, it has flourished so much. Why cannot look at Goa? And this is a message I would like to give government of Goa. Why not look at it, Goa, as a very focused aerospace cluster? If you can use what we have achieved as a small company, and there are a couple of more companies which are doing work for space and aerospace, I think you can use us as an example of exemplary success that all of us have achieved, and create a cluster and invite SMEs, small SME companies with niche technologies, joint ventures. I think there is a huge destinational advantage for Goa.
True.
And if we can leverage this destinational advantage
Fantastic.
to create the ecosystem of aerospace suppliers, I think we would do a fantastic job for the state.
As the Prime Minister rightly said, sky is not the limit. Sir, thank you very much for joining on a very short notice. And again, it's not been even 48 hours that we have landed on moon. The work has already been started. We are getting data. But I think even in that shorter span of time, with so many phone calls, so many congratulatory notes, you made it to our studio, shared your vision, shared your company success. From my team and obviously Prudent Network, I wish you all the best, and all your team members. First, congratulations. And we look forward to have this kind of conversation a lot more in future.
I really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you very much.
Pleasure it was. This was Shekhar Sardessai with us in conversation, founder and MD of Kineco Group. Very jubilant man, and I believe in Goa would be the happiest man because he has been part of Chandrayan 3, and more importantly, in the future missions of ISRO, he and his company will be part of it. It's me signing off. You keep watching the Prudent Network.